1 month after my daughter's wedding, the photographer called me with panic in his voice. "Sir, I noticed something terrible. Come immediately, and don't tell your daughter." I was standing in my garage, grease under my fingernails, working on Lena's old sedan. The phone nearly slipped from my hand. "What are you talking about?" I said. "Just come, please. You need to see this." His voice cracked. Miles Werner wasn't the dramatic type. He was the awkward guy who spent 3 hours adjusting lighting at the reception while everyone else got drunk. If he was calling me like this, something was wrong. I wiped my hands on a rag and told Lena I'd be back. "Henry, don't swing at anyone," she said from the kitchen doorway. "At your age, jail beds are too stiff. I'm 58, not 80. And jail cells don't have heating pads." I drove to Miles's studio thinking he'd probably found a blurry shadow in the background and thought it was Bigfoot. Photographers see everything. Most of it means nothing. His studio was above a pizza place downtown. I climbed the narrow stairs and knocked. He opened the door immediately, like he'd been standing there waiting. "Come in. Sit down." "I'm not sitting down until you tell me what's going on." Miles ran his hand through his hair. He looked like he hadn't slept. "I was editing the final album, going through all the raw files. I always check the backgrounds, make sure no one's doing something embarrassing. You know, drunk uncles, that kind of thing. And I found something. A lot of things, actually." He turned his laptop toward me. The screen showed a wedding photo, Elise and Damon cutting the cake, smiling like they were in a toothpaste commercial. He zoomed in on the background. There was my daughter, my Elise. 26 years old, the girl I'd raised, the one who used to climb on my shoulders and call me her hero. She was leaning close to Damon's mother, laughing. "Turn up the volume," Miles said. "I sync audio on everything." I heard Elise's voice, clear as day. "Look at Dad's suit. I told him not to wear that old thing. It's from 1997 and it shows." Damon's mother laughed. "Well, you know how it is with older folks. They don't really care anymore." "He embarrassed me all day," Elise said. "But starting tomorrow, I don't have to deal with it. Mom and Dad can handle their own problems." I felt something cold settle in my chest. Miles clicked to another file. Different angle, same reception. Damon was talking to his father near the bar. "So when do you think you'll get the house?" Damon's father asked. "Relax," Damon said. "Once we get his savings and the house, he's just a visitor. Maybe we'll let him come by on holidays." They both laughed. Miles showed me another one. Elise talking to her bridesmaid, the one who'd been her friend since high school. "Your dad seemed really happy today," the bridesmaid said. "Yeah, well, he got a little too emotional during the speeches. I wanted to die, but whatever. Starting today, Mom and Dad eat their own food. I'm done supporting old people." I sat down then. Had to. Miles kept clicking through files. There were more. So many more. Damon's family gossiping about Lena and me. Their small-town crumbs. Elise pulling the wedding coordinator aside. "Make sure my parents stay far from us in the photos. I don't want them dominating the album." Her own words, clear, recorded, undeniable. "I'm sorry," Miles said quietly. "I didn't know if I should show you, but if it were my father, I'd want to know." I couldn't speak. My throat felt like someone had poured concrete down it. All those months before the wedding. Elise calling less and less, always busy when I suggested dinner. Damon with his fake smile and his gym-sculpted arms and his influencer nonsense. I'd thought they were just caught up in wedding planning. Young love, new life. I'd been so stupid. "Can you send these to me?" I asked. "Are you sure?" "Send them." I drove home in silence. Lena took one look at my face and knew. "Who do I need to hit with the car?" she said. Tempting. But no. I'll handle this my way. "Henry, what happened?" I showed her the files on my phone, watched her face change as she listened. She sat down at the kitchen table and pressed her palms flat against the wood. That ungrateful little... Don't, I said. Not yet. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. But I was lying. I already knew. The next morning, I started thinking. Really thinking. Going back through the last year. Elise had asked me for money 6 times. Small amounts at first. Dad, can you help with the dress fitting? Then bigger. Dad, Damon needs equipment for his training videos. I'd given her everything she asked for. Sold my old truck to help pay for the honeymoon. She'd never said thank you. Not once. And Damon, that smug bastard with his protein shakes and his Instagram followers, he'd never looked me in the eye. Not really. Always watching his phone, checking his appearance in every reflective surface. I'd spent 30 years in construction. Started as a laborer, worked my way up to foreman. I knew how to read people. How to spot the ones who'd cut corners, who'd lie about materials, who'd take credit for other people's work. I'd seen all the signs with Damon. I just hadn't wanted to believe my daughter would marry someone like that. 2 days later, my son Jason came by. 29 years old, still living in the apartment I helped him get. He worked part-time at a sporting goods store and spent the rest of his time playing video games. He walked in without knocking, headed straight for the fridge. Mom, you got any of that chicken from yesterday? Hello to you too, Lena said. He loaded a plate, microwaved it, sat down at the table like he owned the place. So listen, he said between bites. Starting today, Mom, you eat your own food. Stop thinking I'm going to support some old woman. The fork paused halfway to his mouth. He realized what he'd said, tried to laugh it off. I mean, we're all adults now. Gotta start being independent, right? I stood up, walked over to him. He looked at me with this nervous smile. Get out, I said. Dad, come on. Get out. He left the plate on the table and walked out fast. Lena looked at me. Henry? Both of them, I said. Both of our kids. We raised vipers. So what now? Now? I smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. Now we wait. Because I knew what was coming. Jason's birthday was in 3 weeks. Every year, he demanded I cook a huge dinner for the family. 19 relatives who showed up for free food and left without helping clean. This year would be different. This year, I was going to give them exactly what they deserved. Before we continue, hit the hype button, subscribe, and like the video to help the channel grow. Tell us which city you are from in the comments. We'd love to get to know our audience better. The call came 3 days later. Damon. Hey, Henry. Got a minute? What do you need? Well, I wanted to talk about a business opportunity. You know I'm building my fitness brand, right? I need some investment capital, professional filming equipment, better lighting. Could really use about 15,000. I nearly laughed. 15,000. I know it sounds like a lot, but this is going to be huge. I'll pay you back with interest. When? Well, once the channel takes off. So never. Silence on the other end. I'm just asking for help, Henry. I thought you'd support your family. I'll think about it, I said, and hung up. I didn't need to think about anything. I knew exactly what I was going to do. But first, I needed to see this gym of his. Needed to understand what kind of operation Damon was really running. I showed up at his studio the next afternoon. It was in a strip mall between a nail salon and a vape shop. The front window had Rusk Fitness in vinyl letters and a picture of Damon flexing. Inside, it smelled like rubber mats and desperation. 6 people were working out. Damon was in the corner with a client, showing off some complicated movement with resistance bands. He saw me and his face changed. That fake smile appeared. Henry, didn't expect to see you here. Thought I'd check out where my 15,000 would be going. A couple of the clients looked up. Damon's jaw tightened. Let's talk in my office. His office was a converted storage closet with a desk and a poster of some bodybuilder I didn't recognize. Look, he said, closing the door. I know 15,000 is a big ask, but this is a legitimate business. I've got regular clients, online subscriptions, merchandise, and development. How much are you actually making? Well, it's building. These things take time. How much? He looked away. About 800 a month, but that's going to grow. 800. And your rent here? 1,200. So you're losing 400 a month. It's an investment in the future, Henry. You don't understand how social media works. Once I hit 10,000 followers... You're a scam, I said. His face went red. Excuse me? You heard me. You're not a businessman. You're not an entrepreneur. You're a 30-year-old playing dress-up with other people's money. You need to leave. Gladly. I turned to go. He grabbed my shoulder, spun me around. Big mistake. I'm 58, but I spent 3 decades hauling lumber and wrestling with concrete forms. Damon had gym muscles. I had real strength. I didn't hit him. Didn't need to. Just locked his wrist, twisted slightly, and watched him buckle. Don't touch me again, I said quietly. I let him go and walked out. His clients were staring. One of them had his phone out, recording. Good. Damon followed me to the parking lot, shouting, "You're going to regret this, old man. I'll tell Elise what you said." "Tell her," I said. "Tell her everything." I drove home, feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Purpose. Lena was in the garden when I got back. She took one look at me and shook her head. "You went to see him." "Had to." "And?" "He's exactly what I thought. A fraud with good hair." "Henry, you need to be careful. These kids, they'll turn this around on you. Make you the villain." "Maybe I am the villain," I said. "Maybe that's what they need." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about those wedding photos. Elise's voice saying she was done supporting old people. Damon talking about my house like it was already his. I got up at 2 a.m. and went to my workshop in the garage. Started pulling out old files, tax records, bank statements, property deeds. Lena found me there at dawn. "What are you doing?" "Protecting us," I said, "and teaching them a lesson." "Henry." "No." I looked at her. "They think I'm just some old man who's going to roll over and die so they can pick my bones clean. They're wrong." She studied my face for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Okay, but we do this smart. Legal. No violence." "Agreed." "And Henry, when this is over, we're moving. Getting away from all of them." "Deal." Over the next few days, I made calls. Old friends from the construction business, guys who owed me favors, people who knew people. I learned some interesting things. Damon's gym wasn't registered properly. His business license was expired. And according to one of my buddies who worked for the county, he'd been flagged for selling supplements without proper permits. Not illegal exactly, but not quite legal either. Miles called again on Thursday. "Mr. Lawton, I found something else." "More photos?" "Audio, from the reception. Open mics catch everything." "Send it." 5 minutes later, I was listening to my children destroy each other. Elise, talking to one of Damon's cousins. "When Dad's gone, the house is mine. Jason will get nothing, he's useless." Jason, talking to a friend. "I'm going to get Dad to sign some inheritance papers early. He's getting old. Probably won't even read them carefully." They weren't just betraying me. They were betraying each other. I sat there listening to these recordings and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just cold calculation. These weren't my children anymore. I didn't know what they were. The next day, Elise called. "Dad, Damon told me what you said to him. How could you?" "How could I what? Tell him the truth? He's trying to build something. You're supposed to support us." "Support you? Like you supported me at your wedding?" "What are you talking about?" "Nothing, forget it. Dad, we need that money. Damon's business is on the verge of taking off. If you could just..." "No." "But..." I said no, Elise. "Fine, don't help. But don't come crying to us when you're old and need someone to take care of you." She hung up. I looked at Lena. She just wrote her own ending. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to cook Jason a birthday dinner he'll never forget." Jason's birthday invitation came by text, not even a phone call. Hey Dad, birthday dinner at your place, next Saturday, usual crowd, make that roast beef thing and those potatoes, thanks. No question mark, just an assumption that I'd do it. I texted back, sure. Lena looked over my shoulder. You're really doing this? Oh yes. All 19 of them? Every single one. I spent the next week preparing, not cooking, planning. I made lists, printed documents, organized files, went through every piece of evidence Miles had given me, every recording, every photo, every nasty comment my children had made. On Thursday, I drove to the print shop and had everything bound into folders. 3 of them, thick ones. The woman behind the counter looked at me curiously. What's this for? Family reunion, I said. She smiled. How nice. If only she knew. Saturday came. I woke up early. Lena was already in the kitchen. Last chance to back out, she said. Not backing out. You know they're going to explode. That's the idea. At noon, I started setting up, but not the way Jason expected. I cleared the dining room table completely, pushed all the chairs to the walls, set the table with nothing but 3 folders and a large covered serving tray in the center. No plates, no silverware, no food. Lena watched me work. You're really going nuclear. They fired first. At 5 o'clock, they started arriving. Jason first, of course. He walked in and headed straight for the kitchen. Where's the food? I'm starving. In the dining room, I said. He walked in, stopped, stared at the empty table. Dad, where's... Sit down. But sit down. Something in my voice made him listen. He sat. Elise and Damon arrived next, then the aunts and uncles, Jason's friends, Damon's parents, all 19 of them, crowding into my house, expecting free food and a good time. They saw the table and started murmuring. What's going on? Aunt Carol asked. We're about to have dinner, I said. Everyone, please sit. They sat, confused. Jason looked nervous. Elise kept glancing at Damon. I stood at the head of the table. Lena stood beside me. Thank you all for coming, I said. I know you were expecting a meal, and you're going to get one, just not the kind you thought. I pulled the cover off the serving tray. Underneath were stacks of printed photos, the wedding photos Miles had found, the screenshots, the audio transcripts. I picked up the first folder and handed it to Elise. This one's for you, sweetheart. She opened it. Her face went white. Where did you... Keep reading. I handed the second folder to Jason, the third to Damon. Everyone else, feel free to pass these around. I had extra copies made. The room exploded. Aunt Carol was reading over Elise's shoulder. You said what about your parents? Uncle Frank had one of Jason's transcripts. You were planning to trick your father into signing papers? Damon's mother was reading the audio transcript from the wedding. Her face was like stone. You talked about their house like it was already yours? Elise stood up. Dad, you can't do this. You're making this all up. Making it up? I picked up my phone. Would you like to hear the recordings? I have those too. I played one. Her voice, clear as crystal, talking about how she was done supporting old people. The room went silent. Jason tried to laugh. Come on, everyone says stupid things at weddings. Sit down, Uncle Frank said. He was a retired Marine. When he spoke, people listened. Let your father finish. I looked around the table at all these people, my family, extended relatives who I'd helped over the years, lent money to, given advice, showed up for. I raised 2 children, I said. Gave them everything I had. Worked double shifts to pay for their college. Sold my truck to help pay for a wedding. And this is what I get. Secret plans to take my house. Mock me behind my back. Elise was crying now. Dad, please. I'm not done. I picked up another paper. This is a transcript of a conversation Jason had with his friend Brad 3 weeks ago. Read it, Jason. Out loud. He took the paper with shaking hands. I can't read it. He read, his voice barely audible, about how he was going to make sure Elise didn't get the house, how he had a plan to contest the will, how our parents were old and stupid and wouldn't see it coming. Aunt Carol stood up. I'm leaving. I don't want any part of this. Wait, I said. There's more. I passed around the financial documents, the proof that I'd given Elise $12,000 in the last year, the receipts from Jason's rent that I'd been paying. I've been supporting both of you, I said, while you plan to rob me blind. Damon finally spoke. You had no right to spy on us. Spy? These were from your wedding. Open microphones, public venues, nothing illegal about it. You're destroying our lives. No, you destroyed yourselves. I'm just showing everyone what you really are. Uncle Frank put down the papers. Henry, I owe you an apology. I didn't believe it when you told me last week, but this is unforgivable. Elise looked at him. Dad told you? When? 3 days ago, I said. I wanted to make sure everyone in this family knew the truth before I did this, so they could see it with their own eyes. That's when Damon snapped. He lunged across the table at me. I'd been expecting it. Stepped aside, let him crash into the empty chair behind me. Uncle Frank grabbed him. That's enough. He ruined everything, Damon shouted. That business loan, the house, all of it. We had plans. Plans? Aunt Carol said. Plans to steal from your wife's parents? Damon realized what he'd just admitted. His face went red. Jason stood up. I'm leaving. Sit down, Uncle Frank said. Everyone sits until Henry's done. I looked at my children, both of them crying now. Damon held back by 2 of my cousins. I'm not done, I said. There's one more thing. I pulled out another folder. This one was thicker. This, I said, is the complete financial record of everything I've given both of you over the last 5 years. Every loan, every gift, every bill I paid. I spread the papers across the table. Jason, you owe me $47,000. Elise, you and Damon owe me $62,000. Elise's head snapped up. What? Every dollar documented, every receipt saved. And before you say these were gifts, I have the texts where you promised to pay me back. I showed them. Messages from both of them. Thanks, Dad. I'll get you back next month. I promise I'll pay you back when I can. Just a loan, I swear. Over and over. Years of promises. I'm calling these loans due, I said. 30 days. We don't have that kind of money, Jason said. Then you'd better figure it out. Damon was shaking with rage. You can't do this. Your family. Family? I laughed. It wasn't a pleasant sound. You want to talk about family? Let's talk about how you've been running an illegal supplement business out of your gym. The room went completely silent. Damon's face drained of color. What? Oh, you didn't think I'd find out? I've got friends in the county office. Your business license expired 6 months ago. You're selling supplements without proper permits. And those protein powders you've been pushing, they're not FDA approved. You're lying. Am I? I pulled out another document. This is from the county health department. They're planning an inspection next week. Anonymous tip. Elise stared at me. You reported him? I reported illegal activity. That's all. You're destroying us, she screamed. You're ruining our lives. No, I said calmly. I'm protecting myself from people who wanted to rob me. There's a difference. Aunt Carol was reading through the financial documents. Henry, I had no idea they'd taken this much from you. Nobody did. I didn't tell anyone. Thought I was helping my kids get started in life. This isn't helping, Uncle Frank said. This is theft. Jason stood up again. I'm not listening to this anymore. Then leave, I said. But if you walk out that door, don't come back. He froze. I mean it, Jason. You leave now, you're done. No more rent payments, no more handouts, no more dad to bail you out when you screw up. You can't. I can. And I will. He sat back down. I looked around the table at all these faces, some shocked, some angry, some, like Uncle Frank, showing something that looked like respect. I know what you're all thinking, I said. That I'm being cruel, that I should forgive and forget, that they're young and stupid and they'll learn. I shook my head. But they won't learn, not if I keep enabling them, not if I keep pretending this is okay. I picked up one of the wedding photos, the one where Elise was laughing about my cheap suit. This girl right here? She's not the daughter I raised. The daughter I raised was kind, grateful. She understood that money doesn't grow on trees, and that family means something. I looked at Elise. Where did she go? Elise couldn't meet my eyes. I'll tell you where she went, I said. She got married to a con artist who filled her head with dreams of easy money and Instagram fame. And she bought into it, threw away everything I taught her. Damon tried to speak. Mr. Lawton, don't. I pointed at him. You're a parasite. You latched onto my daughter because you saw an easy mark. A girl with parents who had a house and savings and a big heart. You played her perfectly. That's not true. Isn't it? Let me guess. You started dating her right after she told you about the house I owned, didn't you? Elise's face changed. I could see the memory clicking into place. The second date, I said. She mentioned it, and suddenly you were the perfect boyfriend. Am I wrong? Silence. That's what I thought. I turned to Jason. And you? You're just lazy. That's all there is to it. You want everything handed to you. No work, no effort. Just coast on Dad's money until he dies and then fight over the scraps. That's not fair, Jason said weakly. Fair? I laughed. You want to talk about fair? Is it fair that I worked 60-hour weeks so you could go to college? Is it fair that your mother and I skipped vacations and drove old cars so you could have new clothes and nice things? No answer. Didn't think so. Aunt Carol set down her papers. Henry, what are you going to do now? Now? I smiled. Now I'm going to protect what's mine, and they're going to learn what it means to be adults. I pulled out one final document, the most important one. This is a quitclaim deed, I said. Signed yesterday. The house is no longer in my name. Elise's eyes went wide. What? I transferred it to Lena. Full ownership. Neither of you have any claim to it anymore. You can't do that, Jason shouted. Already done. Recorded with the county clerk this morning. Damon was on his feet again. This is bullshit. You're stealing from your own kids. Stealing? I looked at him. Stealing is what you were planning to do. This is called estate planning. Uncle Frank was nodding. Smart move, Henry. But there's more, I said. Lena and I have also updated our will. When we die, everything goes to charity. The house, the savings, all of it. The room erupted, both kids screaming, Damon shouting threats, cousins arguing. I just stood there and let it happen. Finally, Uncle Frank banged his fist on the table. Enough! Everyone shut up. Henry's right, he said. These kids are spoiled rotten. They need to learn the world doesn't owe them anything. Thank you, I said. But Henry, Aunt Carol said gently, are you sure you want to cut them off completely? They're still your children. I looked at Elise and Jason. Really looked at them. Are they? I said quietly. Because the children I raised would never do this to us. The next few days were chaos. Elise called 17 times. I didn't answer. Jason showed up at the house twice. I didn't open the door. Damon sent threatening texts. I forwarded them to my lawyer. Lena watched it all with a mix of sadness and grim satisfaction. You really torched the bridge, she said. It was already burning, I replied. I just stopped pretending it wasn't. On Wednesday, Miles called again. Mr. Lawton, I need to tell you something. What now? After you left last time, I kept digging through the files. There's something else, something bigger. I drove to his studio. He looked even worse than before, like he hadn't slept in days. "I found audio from before the wedding," he said, "from the rehearsal dinner." He played it for me. Damon's voice. "Once we get the house, we flip it. Market's hot right now. We could clear 300,000 easy." Elise. "What about my parents?" Damon. "What about them? They can rent somewhere cheaper. They don't need a 4-bedroom house." Elise. "I don't know." Damon. "Baby, they're old. They had their time. Now it's our turn. This is how it works." Elise. "Okay. Yeah, you're right." I sat there listening to my daughter agree to make us homeless. "There's more," Miles said. "I also found messages from a group chat." He showed me his phone, a screenshot of texts between Elise, Jason, and someone named Brad. Elise. "Dad's getting softer. I think we can push for the house papers soon." Jason. "Let me handle it. I'll get him to sign." Brad. "You guys are ruthless, LOL." Elise. "It's not ruthless. It's practical. They're old. They won't need it much longer anyway." Jason. "Exactly. Better we get it now while we can use it." I handed the phone back to Miles. "Send me everything," I said. "Mr. Lawton, I'm so sorry." "Don't be. You did me a favor." I drove home in a daze. When I got there, Lena took one look at my face and poured me a whiskey. "What happened?" I told her, showed her the messages. She read them in silence. Then she set down the phone and looked at me. "They were going to kick us out of our own house." "Yes." "Make us homeless." "Yes." She picked up her phone. "I'm calling them right now." "Don't." "Henry, they need to know we know." "Not yet," I said. "Trust me, I have a better idea." Over the next week, I made more calls, this time to lawyers, real estate agents, financial advisors. I learned some very interesting things about my options. On Friday, Damon called me, first time since the birthday dinner. "We need to talk," he said. Talk. Not on the phone, in person. Why would I do that? Because if you don't, things are going to get very ugly for you. I actually laughed. Is that a threat? It's a promise. You've been spreading lies about me, ruining my business. I have lawyers too, old man. Good. Have them call my lawyer. I'm sure they'll enjoy the conversation. You don't know who you're messing with. Actually, I do. You're a 30-year-old fraud who thought he could steal from me. How am I doing so far? He hung up. That weekend, I got a call from my lawyer. Henry, I got a letter from a law firm. They're representing your son-in-law. What do they want? They're threatening to sue you for defamation and harassment. Based on what? They claim you've been spreading false information about his business and interfering with his livelihood. I smiled. Interesting. What did you tell them? I told them to bring it. Every word you've said is documented and true. They'd be laughed out of court. Good. But Henry, there's something else. They're also claiming elder abuse. I sat up. What? They're saying your daughter and son-in-law have been taking care of you, that you're mentally unstable, that they're worried about your well-being. That's insane. I know. But they're building a case. They want to get guardianship over you. They want to what? If they can convince a court you're mentally incompetent, they could take control of your finances, your property, everything. I hung up and looked at Lena. They're trying to have me declared incompetent. Her face went white. No. Yes, it's their backup plan. If they can't get the house by inheritance, they'll get it by guardianship. That's not going to work. You're perfectly fine. Doesn't matter. If they file the petition, it starts a whole process. Court dates, evaluations, and in the meantime, they could freeze our accounts. What do we do? I thought about it, about all the planning I'd done, all the evidence I'd gathered. We go to war, I said. On Monday morning, I drove to Damon's gym. It was closed. A notice on the door said, temporarily closed for inspection. I called my buddy at the county office. Did that inspection happen? Yesterday. They found some issues, expired permits, improper storage of supplements. He's shut down until he fixes it. How long will that take? Months, probably. Maybe longer if he can't afford the fines. How much are the fines? About 20,000. I smiled. Thanks for the update. Next stop was Jason's apartment. I knocked. No answer. I called his work. Sorry, he hasn't shown up for his shifts this week, the manager said. You know where he is? No idea. I called Lena. Jason's missing. Missing? Not at work, not at home. Do you think something happened to him? I think he's hiding. I was right. 3 hours later, I got a text from an unknown number. Dad, it's Jason. I'm staying with a friend. Don't look for me. I need some time. I texted back. You have 27 days left on those loans. No response. That afternoon, Elise showed up at the house. Lena answered the door. I need to talk to Dad. He doesn't want to talk to you. Mom, please, this is important. I heard her voice and came to the door. What do you want? She looked terrible, hair unwashed, dark circles under her eyes. I want to explain. Explain what? How you were planning to steal my house? It's not like that. Then what is it like? She started crying. Damon said it was just planning for the future. That all families do this. That it's normal to think about inheritance. Thinking about it and plotting it are different things. I know that now. Do you? She wiped her eyes. Dad, I made a mistake. I let him get in my head. But I never wanted to hurt you, I swear. I looked at her, tried to see if she was lying. Then why did you say those things at the wedding? Because I was angry. You kept asking about money, about the cost of everything. It made me feel like you didn't support my marriage. I was asking because I wanted to help. And I did help. $12,000 worth. I know. Do you? Because you told everyone you were done supporting old people, that we could eat our own food. She flinched. I was drunk. I say stupid things when I drink. No, drunk people say what they really think. That's not fair. Fair? I stepped closer. You want to talk about fair? Your husband is trying to have me declared incompetent so he can steal everything I've worked for. Is that fair? Her eyes widened. What? You didn't know? He filed a petition with the court, claims I'm mentally unstable. No, he wouldn't do that. Ask him. She pulled out her phone, called Damon. I could hear his voice through the speaker. Baby, where are you? Did you file something with the court about my dad? Silence. Damon, answer me. It's just a precaution. Your dad's been acting crazy. We need to protect you. Protect me from my own father? He's turned against us. He's trying to take everything away. You're trying to have him declared incompetent. It's the only way to stop him from destroying everything we've built. She hung up, looked at me with horror. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Doesn't matter, I said. You enabled it. You stood by while he planned this. What do I do? You leave him. You get a lawyer. You file for divorce. I can't afford a divorce. Then I guess you'd better figure it out, like an adult. I closed the door in her face. Lena looked at me. That was harsh. It was necessary. She seemed genuinely sorry. Maybe, but sorry doesn't undo what they planned. The next day, my lawyer called with news. The guardianship petition was withdrawn. What? Damon's lawyer pulled it. No explanation. Why would they do that? My guess? They realized they had no case, or maybe your daughter told him to stop. So it's over? For now, but Henry, they could file again. You need to be prepared. I am prepared. I spent the next week gathering more evidence, more recordings, more documents. I wanted everything locked down tight before the next attack came, and it came sooner than I expected. On Thursday, I got a call from the police. Mr. Lawton, this is Officer Brennan. We need you to come down to the station. What for? There's been a complaint filed against you. We need to ask you some questions. My heart sank. What kind of complaint? It's better if we discuss it in person. I drove to the police station with Lena. My lawyer met us there. Officer Brennan was a young guy, probably 30. He led us to an interview room. Mr. Lawton, we received a complaint from your daughter and son-in-law. They claim you've been harassing them. Harassing them how? According to their statement, you've been showing up at Mr. Rusk's business, making threats, spreading false information about his company. My lawyer spoke up. Do you have any evidence of these threats? We're still investigating. Then you have nothing, my lawyer said. My client has not harassed anyone. He's been protecting himself from theft. Officer Brennan looked uncomfortable. There are also claims that you've been stalking them. Stalking? I almost laughed. I've been to his gym once, to see where my daughter's husband worked. They also claim you hired someone to spy on them. That would be the wedding photographer, my lawyer said, who was hired by the couple to photograph their wedding. He found evidence of them planning to defraud Mr. Lawton and reported it. That's not spying. That's evidence. Officer Brennan sighed. Look, I'm just following up on the complaint, but between you and me, this sounds like a family dispute. It is, I said, and they're trying to use you to intimidate me. I can't comment on that, but I will say this: if you're having problems with your family, handle it through lawyers, not confrontations. Agreed. We left the station. My lawyer shook his head. They're getting desperate. What do? We file a restraining order against them, based on their harassment of you. Can we do that? We can certainly try. The restraining order was filed on Friday. By Monday, I had a response from Damon's lawyer. They were countersuing for emotional distress. My lawyer read me the complaint over the phone. They claim your actions have caused severe emotional and financial harm. They're seeking damages of $200,000. They're suing me for $200,000. Yes, because I caught them trying to steal from me. That's their claim. I sat down hard. Can they win? No, but they can make your life hell trying. This could drag on for years. What do? We fight it, and we file our own suit for the money they owe you. How much will this cost me? In legal fees? Could be $30,000 to $50,000, maybe more. I hung up and looked at Lena. They're trying to bankrupt us with legal fees. She set down her coffee. Then we need to end this fast. How? We make them an offer they can't refuse. Like what? She thought for a moment. You drop everything, the loans, the lawsuits, all of it. What? No. After everything they've done, hear me out. You drop everything on one condition. They sign a legal agreement that they have no claim to anything we own, ever, and they stay away from us, permanently. They'll never agree to that. They will if the alternative is worse. What could be worse? She smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. We could release all those recordings publicly, post them online, let the whole town see what they really are. I stared at her. You want to destroy them? I want to protect us. There's a difference. I thought about it. About the recordings, the messages, the evidence. That's nuclear. So is a $200,000 lawsuit. She had a point. That night, I called a meeting. My lawyer, Lena, and me. We planned it out carefully. On Wednesday, my lawyer sent a letter to Damon's lawyer. The offer was simple. Drop all legal actions. Sign a document waiving any claim to our estate. Stay away from us permanently. In exchange, we drop the debt and keep all evidence private. They had 48 hours to decide. Thursday passed. No response. Friday morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. This is Damon. We need to talk. Through lawyers only. Just listen, please. Against my better judgment, I put him on speaker so Lena could hear. What do you want? I want to explain. This whole thing got out of control. Elise and I never meant for it to go this far. You filed for guardianship. You tried to have me declared incompetent. That was my lawyer's idea. I didn't know he was going to do that. Don't lie to me. I'm not lying. Look, I made mistakes, big ones, but I love your daughter. I'm trying to build a life with her. By stealing mine. No, that's not— Okay, yes, I said stupid things. I got greedy, but that's not who I am. That's exactly who you are. Please, just give us another chance. No, Mr. Lawton. You have 48 hours to accept our offer. After that, everything goes public. I hung up. Lena looked at me. You think he'll take it? I don't know. We waited. Friday night came and went. No response. Saturday morning, I woke up to find my phone blowing up with messages. I opened Facebook. Someone had posted the wedding recordings, all of them. Every horrible thing my kids had said, every nasty comment, every plan to steal from me. It was everywhere. I called Miles. Did you do this? No, I swear, I don't know how. Then I saw who posted it. Lena. I turned to her. She was sitting at the kitchen table drinking coffee. What did you do? I gave them 48 hours. They didn't respond. So I did what needed to be done. You posted everything? Everything. Lena. Don't you dare tell me I was wrong. These people tried to destroy us. They deserve this. I looked back at my phone. The post had 300 shares already, comments pouring in. You're monsters. This is disgusting. Poor Henry and Lena. Those kids should be ashamed. My phone rang. Elise. Dad, what did you do? That wasn't me. Everyone knows. Everyone in town has seen it. My phone won't stop ringing. Should have thought about that before you said those things. Take it down, please. I can't. Your mother posted it. Then make her take it down. No. Dad, please. They're firing Damon from everything. His sponsors dropped him. His gym is finished. Good. How can you say that? Because you two earned every bit of this. You wanted to take everything from us. Now you know how it feels. She was sobbing now. I hate you. I hate you so much. The feeling is mutual. I hung up. Jason called next. Same hysterics. Same begging. Same hate. I didn't care. By Sunday, it was the talk of the town. The local Facebook groups were all discussing it. People I hadn't seen in years were calling to express their support. Damon's gym closed permanently. His sponsors were gone. His social media following dropped by 70% in one day. Elise lost her job. Her employer didn't want to be associated with someone who planned to make her parents homeless. Jason lost his apartment. His landlord saw the posts and decided he didn't want that kind of tenant. They were ruined. And I felt nothing. On Monday, Damon showed up at my house. I saw him through the window. He looked like hell, unshaven, dark circles, clothes rumpled. I opened the door before he could knock. Get off my property. Please, just listen. No. We'll take the deal, whatever you want. Just make it stop. Too late. It's not too late. We'll sign anything. I said it's too late. The recordings are public. Can't put that back in the bottle. You ruined us. No, you ruined yourselves. I just let everyone see who you really are. He fell to his knees. Actually fell to his knees on my porch. Please, Elise is falling apart. She can't eat, can't sleep. She's talking about— He stopped. Talking about what? I asked. Nothing. Forget it. Talking about what, Damon? He looked up at me with hollow eyes. Hurting herself. My chest tightened. What? She locked herself in the bathroom yesterday with a bottle of pills. I had to break down the door. You're lying. I'm not. Call her. See for yourself. I wanted to tell him to get lost, to stop manipulating me, but something in his voice made me pause. I called Elise. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. Where is she? I demanded. At our apartment. I left her there to come here. Alone? You left her alone after that? She told me to go. She said she needed space. I pushed past him, got in my truck, drove to their apartment. Lena called me. Where are you going? Elise might be in trouble. Henry, don't fall for their manipulation. I'm not, but I need to see for myself. I reached their apartment in 10 minutes, banged on the door. Elise, open up! Nothing. I tried the handle. Locked. I called her again. Heard her phone ringing inside. Elise, if you don't open this door, I'm calling the police. Finally, the lock clicked. The door opened. Elise stood there. She looked exactly how Damon described, hollow, broken. What do you want? Are you okay? Do I look okay? I pushed past her into the apartment. It was a disaster. Trash everywhere, dirty dishes piled up. The bathroom door was splintered where Damon had kicked it in. What happened here? She laughed. It was a bitter, ugly sound. What happened? You destroyed my life. That's what happened. I didn't post those recordings. Your mother did. Same thing. It's not the same thing. Isn't it? You started this. You set it all in motion. She was right. I had. I looked at my daughter, really looked at her, and saw what I'd done. Yes, she'd planned to steal from me. Yes, she'd said horrible things. But she was still my daughter, and I'd broken her. Elise, Save it. I don't want your apology. I wasn't going to apologize. Then what do you want? I want to know if you meant it, about hurting yourself. She looked away. What does it matter? It matters to me. Since when? You've made it very clear you don't care what happens to me. That's not true. Isn't it? You publicly humiliated me, destroyed my husband's career, made sure everyone in town knows what a terrible person I am. You did that yourself. She slapped me. I didn't stop her. We stood there, staring at each other, her hand still raised, my cheek stinging. I hate you, she whispered. I know. I wish you'd just die and leave me alone. Careful what you wish for. She started crying again, deep, racking sobs that shook her whole body. And despite everything, despite all the betrayal and pain and anger, I felt something crack inside me. I pulled her into a hug. She fought it at first, pushed against me, but I held on. Finally, she collapsed against my chest and just cried. We stood like that for a long time. When she finally pulled away, her eyes were red and swollen. Why did you come here? She asked. Because you're still my daughter, and I needed to make sure you were okay. I'm not okay. I know. Everything's gone. My job, Damon's career, our reputation. Even Jason won't talk to us anymore. Where is Jason? I don't know. He disappeared after the posts went up. I felt a twinge of worry. Has he called you? No, and he's not answering his phone. That was concerning. Jason was weak, but he wasn't stupid. If he'd gone completely dark, something was wrong. I'll find him, I said. Why would you do that? You hate us both. I don't hate you, Elise. I hate what you did. There's a difference. She looked at me with something like hope. Is there? Yes. Then why did you do this? Why destroy everything? Because you were trying to destroy me first, and I couldn't let that happen. So this is what? Revenge? No, this is self-defense. She shook her head. Call it whatever you want. The result is the same. She wasn't wrong. I looked around the apartment again. At the mess. The emptiness. You can't stay here, I said. Where am I supposed to go? I don't know, but not here. I don't have anywhere else. What about Damon's family? She laughed bitterly. They won't talk to us. His parents saw the recordings. They're done with both of us. Friends? Gone. Everyone's gone, Dad. You made sure of that. The truth of her words hit me hard. I'd wanted consequences. I'd wanted them to understand what they'd done, but I hadn't thought about what would come after. I need to go find Jason, I said. Good luck. He probably hates you even more than I do. I left without another word. Finding Jason took 3 days. I called everyone I could think of, his friends, his co-workers, his ex-girlfriend. Nobody had seen him. On Thursday, I got a call from a homeless shelter downtown. "Mr. Lawton, we have someone here who says he's your son." I drove there immediately. Jason was sitting on a cot in the corner. He looked worse than Elise, dirty, unshaven, eyes vacant. "Jason," he looked up. "Come to gloat?" "No." "Then why are you here?" "Because you're my son." He laughed. "Bit late for that, don't you think?" I sat down next to him. The cot creaked under our combined weight. "What happened?" "What do you think happened? You destroyed my life. That's what happened. I didn't post those recordings. But you collected them. You planned this. I planned to protect myself, not to destroy you." Same result. Everyone kept saying that. Maybe they were right. "Where have you been?" I asked. "Around, sleeping in my car mostly, until they towed it for unpaid tickets." "Why didn't you call?" "Call who? You? The dad who publicly humiliated me?" "I'm still your father." "Are you?" "Because fathers are supposed to protect their kids, not destroy them." "I was protecting myself from my kids." He flinched. "That's not fair." "Isn't it? You were planning to steal from me, Jason. You and Elise both." "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like?" He couldn't answer. We sat in silence for a while. Around us, other people moved through the shelter, lost souls looking for a bed and a meal. "I'm sorry," he finally said. "For what?" "For everything, for the plans, the things I said, all of it. Are you really sorry? Or are you just sorry you got caught?" "Does it matter?" "Yes, it does." He looked at me with red-rimmed eyes. "I don't know anymore. I don't know anything." "What were you thinking, Jason? What made you think any of this was okay?" "I don't know, I saw Elise making all these plans with Damon, getting married, building a life." "So you decided to steal from me?" "It wasn't stealing. It was, I don't know. It felt like taking what was going to be mine anyway." "It wasn't yours. It was mine. And I earned it. I know that now." "Do you?" He looked away. "I'm homeless, Dad. I have nothing. No job, no apartment, no friends. What do you want from me?" "I want you to understand what you did. To really understand it." "I understand. Okay? I understand." "Do you understand that you and your sister were planning to make your mother and me homeless? That you were going to kick us out of our own house?" He went pale. "We weren't going to kick you out." "Yes, you were. Damon said it himself. Flip the house, make a profit. Your mom and I could rent somewhere cheaper." "I didn't know about that part." "You knew enough." He put his head in his hands. "What do you want from me, Dad?" "I want you to be better than this, to be the son I raised." "That son is gone." "Why?" "Your mother posted them, not me." "You let her." He had a point. I looked at my son sitting there on a cot in a homeless shelter and felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Regret. Not for protecting myself, not for exposing what they'd planned, but for how far it had gone. "Come home," I said. He looked at me like I'd grown a second head. "What?" "Come home, get cleaned up. We'll figure out the rest later." "Why would you do that?" "Because despite everything, you're still my son." "I don't deserve that." "Probably not, but I'm offering anyway." He stared at me for a long moment. Then he started crying. Not the angry crying from before. This was different, broken, defeated. I put my arm around him and let him cry. When he finally stopped, he wiped his face with his sleeve. "What about Elise?" "What about her? Is she invited too?" "No." "Why not?" "Because she made her choice. She chose Damon. Now she has to live with it." "That's not fair." "Life's not fair, Jason. You of all people should know that by now." We drove home in silence. Lena was surprised to see Jason, but she didn't say anything, just heated up some leftovers and put them in front of him. He ate like he hadn't seen food in days. He probably hadn't. After dinner, I showed him to the guest room. Clean sheets are in the closet. Bathroom's down the hall. Thanks, Dad. Don't thank me yet. This isn't forgiveness. This is a second chance. Don't waste it. I won't. I closed the door and went downstairs. Lena was waiting. What are you doing? She asked. I don't know. He tried to steal from us. I know. He called you old and useless. I know. So why is he here? I sat down heavily. Because I looked at him sitting in that shelter and realized I'd gone too far. You went too far? They started this. I know. And I finished it. But maybe I finished it too well. She studied my face. You're having regrets. Aren't you? No. They deserved everything they got. Did they? Did Jason deserve to be homeless? He made his choices. He's 29 years old. He's stupid and greedy, but he's still our son. And Elise? I thought about Elise in that apartment. The broken door, the empty pill bottle. I don't know about Elise. You need to decide, Henry. Either you're done with them or you're not. You can't have it both ways. Why not? Because it's not fair to anyone. Not to them. Not to us. She had a point, but I didn't have an answer. 2 days later, everything fell apart. I woke up to my phone ringing. Unknown number. Mr. Lawton, this is Memorial Hospital. Your daughter was brought in last night. My heart stopped. What happened? She overdosed. Pills and alcohol. Her husband found her and called 911. Is she okay? She's stable now, but she's asking for you. I got dressed and drove to the hospital. Lena stayed behind with Jason. Elise was in a room on the 3rd floor. Damon was sitting beside her bed, holding her hand. When I walked in, he stood up. Because of what we all did, I corrected. Don't try to make this equal. You destroyed us. You destroyed yourselves. Get out. No. Elise's voice was weak but clear. Dad? I walked to the bed. She looked terrible. IV in her arm. Heart monitor beeping steadily. I'm here. I'm sorry, she whispered. For what? For everything. For the plans. The things I said. For trying to steal from you. Elise. No, let me finish. I was wrong. About all of it. Damon got in my head and I let him. I forgot who I was. Who you raised me to be. Damon started to protest, but I held up my hand. Let her talk. I thought we could just take everything, and it would be fine, she continued. That you and Mom were old and didn't need much. That it was fair because you had your turn. That's what Damon told you. Yes, but I believed him. That's on me. Why are you telling me this now? Because I almost died last night. And as I was lying there thinking I was going to die, all I could think about was how disappointed you must be. I am disappointed. I know. But I still love you. She started crying. How? After everything? Because you're my daughter. That doesn't change. Damon spoke up. So what now? You forgive her and everything goes back to normal? I looked at him. Nothing goes back to normal. Normal is gone. Then what? Then we figure out what comes next. Which is what exactly? I turned back to Elise. First, you get better. Then we talk about next steps. What about the recordings? Everyone's seen them. I know. I can't go anywhere without people staring, whispering. That will fade, eventually. Will it? I don't know. But hiding in your apartment and swallowing pills isn't the answer. I didn't mean to. I just wanted the pain to stop. I know. Do you? Do you know what it's like to have the whole town hate you? Actually, yes. I spent 30 years in construction. I've been hated by plenty of people. It's different. Maybe. But the solution is the same. You hold your head up and you keep moving forward. I don't know if I can. You can. You will. Damon cleared his throat. What about me? What about you? Do I get forgiveness too? No, Why not? Because you're not sorry. You're just sorry you got caught. That's not true, isn't it? You still think you did nothing wrong, that I'm the villain here. He couldn't meet my eyes. That's what I thought, I said. I looked back at Elise. When you get out of here, you need to make a choice. What choice? Him or us? You can't have both, Damon exploded. You can't make her choose. I just did. That's not fair. Life's not fair. We've established this. Elise looked between us. Dad, I love him. Do you? Or do you love the idea of him? What's the difference? The difference is one is real and one is a lie. You need to figure out which one this is. I can't do this right now. I know. Take your time. But know this. As long as you're with him, you're not welcome in my house. That's cruel. That's reality. I turned and walked out. In the hallway, I leaned against the wall and tried to catch my breath. My hands were shaking. The elevator dinged. Jason stepped out. I heard, he said. Is she okay? She will be. What did you say to her? I told her to choose between Damon and us. That's harsh. It's necessary. You really think she'll choose us? I don't know. We stood there in silence. Finally, Jason spoke. I need to tell you something. What? I've been thinking about everything, about what I did, what we all did. And you were right. We were trying to steal from you. We dressed it up as planning for the future, but it was theft. Why are you telling me this now? Because Elise almost died, and I realized we could have lost her forever. And for what? A house? Money? It's stupid. Yes, it is. So I want to make it right. How? I don't know yet, but I will. I promise. I looked at my son, really looked at him, saw something in his eyes I hadn't seen in a long time. Sincerity. Okay, I said. I believe you. We went home. Over the next week, Elise stayed in the hospital. Damon visited every day. I visited twice. On Thursday, she called me. I made my decision. And? I'm leaving him. Are you sure? Yes, you were right. I don't love him. I love who I thought he was, but that person doesn't exist. What are you going to do? I'm going to file for divorce, move out, start over. Do you have a lawyer? No. I'll pay for one. You don't have to. I want to. She was quiet for a moment. Why are you helping me? Because you made the right choice, and I want to support that. Thank you, Dad. You're welcome. 2 days later, she was released from the hospital. She moved into our spare bedroom. Jason was in the guest room. The house was full again. Damon came by once. I met him at the door. Where is she? Gone. Gone where? Not your business anymore. She's my wife. Not for long. He tried to push past me. I didn't move. Leave, now, or I'm calling the police. You can't keep her from me. Watch me. He stood there, face red, fists clenched. For a moment, I thought he might actually hit me. Then he deflated. I love her, he said. No, you love what she could give you. There's a difference. He left. That night, the four of us sat around the dinner table. Me, Lena, Elise, Jason. It was awkward. Nobody knew what to say. Finally, Lena spoke. So, here we are. Here we are? I echoed. What happens now? Elise asked. Now we rebuild, I said. Slowly, carefully, with honesty. How? I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. Jason raised his glass. To figuring it out. We all clinked glasses. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was a start. 2 weeks later, everything changed again. Damon showed up at the house with 3 of his friends. They were drunk, angry. I heard the shouting from inside, went to the window. They were on the lawn, breaking things, throwing rocks at the windows. I called the police. Then I went outside. Get off my property. Where is she? Damon shouted. Not here! You're lying. One of his friends threw a bottle. It shattered against the garage. Leave. Now. Or what? What are you going to do, old man? I stood my ground. Behind me, I heard the door open. Jason came out. Dad, police are on their way. Damon's eyes locked on him. You're part of this, he charged. I stepped in front of Jason. Damon slammed into me. We both went down. He was on top of me, swinging wildly. I covered my face. Then Jason was there, pulling him off. They tumbled across the lawn. Damon's friends jumped in. It was chaos. Sirens wailed in the distance. I got to my feet. My lip was bleeding, but I was okay. The police arrived, sorted everyone out. Damon and his friends were arrested for trespassing and assault. The officer took my statement. You want to press charges? Yes. All of them? All of them. Damon was loaded into a police car. He looked at me through the window with pure hatred. I felt nothing. Inside, Lena was cleaning my split lip. This is getting out of hand, she said. I know. We need to end this. How? We leave. Sell the house. Move somewhere they can't find us. Run away? No. Start fresh. I thought about it. About the house we'd built our lives in. The memories. The years. But she was right. This would never end unless we ended it. Okay, I said. Let's do it. We put the house on the market the next week. It sold in 3 days. Elise and Jason helped us pack. The 4 of us worked in silence, boxing up 30 years of memories. On the last day, we stood in the empty living room. This is really happening, Elise said. Yes. Where are you going? We don't know yet. Somewhere far. Will you tell us where? Eventually. What about us? Jason asked. What do we do? You figure out your own lives, I said, like adults. Dad, I'm serious. Your mother and I are done fixing your problems. From now on, you're on your own. That's harsh, Elise said. That's reality. The moving truck arrived. We loaded our things and drove away. I didn't look back. A month later, we were in Arizona. Small town, desert heat. Nobody knew us. Jason called once a week. He'd gotten a new job, a real one. Sales position with benefits. Elise called less often. The divorce was messy. Damon was fighting everything, but she was surviving. One night, Lena and I sat on our new porch watching the sunset. Do you regret it? She asked. Which part? Any of it. I thought about the question, about the recordings, the birthday dinner, the public humiliation. No, I said. They needed to learn. Did they, though? Learn, I mean. I think so. Maybe. Time will tell. What if they didn't? Then that's on them. I did my part. Which was what exactly? I showed them consequences, something they'd never faced before. She was quiet for a moment. You know what the real tragedy is? What? That it came to this. That we had to destroy our relationship with our own children to protect ourselves. I know. Do you think we'll ever be a family again? I don't know. But I'm not holding my breath. We sat in silence, watching the sun disappear behind the mountains. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Hello? Dad? It's Elise. What's wrong? Nothing. I wanted to tell you something. What? I got a job, a real one, marketing position. It starts next week. That's good. And I signed the divorce papers. It's over. How do you feel? Free. For the first time in years, I feel free. Good. And Dad? Thank you. For what? For not giving up on me, even when I deserved it. My throat tightened. You're welcome. I love you. I love you too. I hung up. Lena looked at me. What was that about? Elise, she got a job, signed the divorce papers. That's good. Yeah. You're crying. I wiped my eyes. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Okay, maybe a little. She took my hand. It's okay, Henry. You did what you had to do, And maybe, eventually, it will all work out. Maybe. But I didn't believe it. Some things, once broken, can't be fixed. And my relationship with my children was one of them. I'd won the battle, but lost the war. And as I sat there on that porch in Arizona, watching the stars come out, I wondered if it had been worth it. The answer was complicated. I'd protected what was mine, taught them a lesson they desperately needed, stood up for myself when everyone expected me to roll over, but I'd lost my children in the process. Was that worth it? I still don't know. All I know is that when you push people far enough, eventually they push back. And sometimes everyone loses.